Wait,
Yeah, we did it.
how did you do that without me making you a
registered,
host?
and
How did you do that without me making you a host? I didn't.
I sent the request, and then immediately it said host allows you to record.
Oh, weird. Maybe. God, what is this? 8 a.m.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with your show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome. We don't have a Joe today. It's really nice and celebratory. It's really nice when all of us are here. It's lovely. It's lovely. I mean, that's what we want, Yeah. But sometimes things happen, and
no one appreciated
us,
my reply text to Joe.
I did.
Thank you.
I did,
Kevin.
and then I felt bad because
The one where you said okay.
I just said
no,
K.
I just said K. Joe sent
yeah.
like a super long, nice poem about how he couldn't.
Yeah, but that's
be
just
on the
Joe.
podcast.
Joe typed in.
I
Eloquently
bequeath you.
No, but like before you even say what he said, I'm telling you, he went to ChatGPT and said, eloquently type out me saying I can't do the podcast this week.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And that's what we got. We
I
got
don't
this
believe
fucking
that.
Shakespearean.
Bullshit.
My friends, I bequeath you this day a proclamation. I will not be able
Well,
to
let me
attend.
let me do Chat GPT justice, because this is pretty. Definitely, you're right. Joe did not come up with this. It says, out of nowhere at 11:30 on a Saturday morning, my friends, I shalt not be able to attend thee on the recording of jovial voices and merriment. My heart sinks verily, but mightily she rises from the depths of despair on airs of confidence bequeathed by the knowledge of ye three venturing into conversational battle in my stead, complete with a Conan O'Brien, fancy bow. And
like
then
I said, curtsy,
I said the single letter K,
and then no one said anything. No one said anything until 6 p.m. That text came in at 11:30 a.m. yesterday. That was
no
Saturday.
one acknowledged.
Well,
Joe's just like,
actually,
God, they're assholes.
well,
They're just
to be fair, Kevin loved it. Kevin gave it a heart.
But I didn't give it a heart until 6 p.m.
I didn't do it.
He had the whole day.
I completely ignored it.
Yeah,
I gave it a heart because
Steve made the right call.
I just know Joe's tired.
Steve made. We know by now that we ignore Joe whenever he does this.
But it's funny because I'm looking at it and Kevin's on the fence. Kevin thinks Joe wrote this from the heart.
Yeah,
You think this came from his brain?
I think he wrote it. Yeah.
Well, here's
There's
where I'm
words
having
in there.
here's where I'm having problems. I know he does use the word jovial quite a lot.
Yep.
And that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that sold.
That's the one that sold me too. But
And he
later
literally
on,
writes poems. He's a poet.
He does write poems on his Instagram. Sometimes he'll do a post and it'll be like a nice little poem. But in the post, there's a spacing error between confidence and bequeathed, as well as there being. Well, actually, there's also really bad punctuation in this.
I see what you're saying, but doesn't that lean more towards it is a human thing?
Yeah, wouldn't that be more?
You wouldn't do a double space.
To me, a double space means you spaced to write something, then you forgot, then you pasted something there, and then you didn't fix the space.
That's a
I think he
possibility.
didn't. I think he was confused on whether bequeathed had two E's or was UEA, and he went back and changed it after Googling it, and he didn't realize he copy and pasted the space.
And he didn't fix the space.
Yeah.
Punctuation's real bad, so maybe that's where the Chat GPT.
Because we know he can't spell.
My friends, and then there's a
dash.
And not
I
the
shalt
hard.
not be able to attend thee on the recording of jovial voices and merriment. Okay, that's fine. My heart
Should be an M
sinks,
dash.
verily, comma, but mightily she rises from the depths of despair on
You didn't-
airs of confidence.
Did
Period.
you add a comma?
No, I'm adding. I'm
He's
fixing
adding
this. I'm fixing the punctuation here. I'm telling you where there should be punctuation in there.
There
Wait,
should
my
be a
heart-
comma there.
There
That
should
is
be-
My
correct.
heart sings verily. Is verily a word? I didn't know that was a
Yeah,
word.
verily is like an old timey.
Okay,
Here, let me look it up. Verily.
it makes sense. It just I've never heard it.
Yeah, verily is like an old timey, not used word anymore.
I'm verily.
There's also a company called Verily.
Yeah, it is like ancestry.
The
DNA
meaning of
stuff.
verily is in truth, certainty. So being certain. In
So
truth.
he's certain that he's
My heart sinks
sinking. His heart
truthfully.
sinks. Okay.
verily,
This,
comma.
scholars will be poring over this for.
Yeah, see, and then there's like it's like
decades.
and then it's the biggest run-on sentence I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
My heart sinks verily, but mightily she rises from the depths of despair on airs of confidence bequeathed by knowledge of thee, ye venturing into conversational battle in my stead. And then there's a period as if to mock us at the end.
Yeah, there's only one.
Let's just take the whole podcast to dissect this.
Dude, it
Period.
is.
Ending a sentence bitterly and to mock someone with a period is so funny.
Dude,
Because
and
why
seeing-
bother? Why bother?
Why
bother with the formality of a period at the end when you're not going to bother with all the punctuation in between?
It's to mock us.
It's mocking us.
I'm glad he's not here.
And dude, seeing how we literally said nothing but
We-
1K is so crazy when you look back at it.
I will. Okay, so I will say this though. I think it's fun. It's fun because Joe is fun. Joe has fun. There's fun in Joe. And I think we, when he could have just said like, "Hey guys, can't do the pod," and it's fine, But it's
Yeah.
fun that he did like a big long thing. And, I don't know how much thought he put into it, truly. But the more thought he put into it, the funnier it is that there was no
Well,
response.
see, I'm wondering if this is like a Gish Gallop thing or like like he's laying it on so thick because you'll notice he did not give a reason.
No, he
didn't
didn't.
say. So it's like
he did it.
he's kind of doing this like shiny text that's like really clever and
Yeah.
well written, but it's like to distract us from
It
the
is.
reality that he's probably just didn't want to do the
He
podcast.
just didn't want to do it.
And also the Conan thing is another element to this that we're
Well,
not
the
Conan-
addressing.
Because he wants you to read it like
Bold
that.
move.
He wants you to read it like
Yeah.
Yeah, like
he's
Conan's-
like he pulled out a scroll and he's reading it
Yeah.
off of a scroll.
And that's his little bow to us. At
And
the
then
end.
that's his verily I say.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I did something that you guys might find interesting. Welcome to the show, folks.
Hey guys. Hey everybody. What'd you do, Elliot?
I, on a whim, I told you guys recently, I don't know if I told you this, Steve, I don't know if we were there on the episode, but I did, in fact, go to Las Vegas for a couple days.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Now, I gotta tell you guys, I don't know if you know this about me. I like Las Vegas.
Well, I mean,
All right.
yeah.
And one show that has been there for quite a long time that I've never seen, I saw for the first
Oh,
time.
shit. What'd you see?
wait.
I saw a
Is it
show.
love?
What is that?
Oh, you didn't see Love.
The Beatles?
The Beatles
No,
search
absolutely
show?
not. I saw David Copperfield.
Whoa.
Let me tell you something. This is the bit. I've been trying to figure out the way to present the information about the show in a succinct way, and I don't know that I can. I might need to bring Joe in for it to write
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he might need to write out something.
something. So to begin, I don't know if you guys are familiar with David Copperfield, but he performs coincidentally in the David Copperfield Theater, which is pretty incredible.
That's
Oh.
right.
Now, we made our way there and we started watching the show. Are you guys familiar? If you guys don't know who David Copperfield is, he's a magician. He's also the world's most successful magician to ever live.
I didn't
And
know
he is
that.
worth about $1 billion.
I didn't know that either.
He's a billionaire. He's
Well, 'cause-
67 years old.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
been
makes-
doing it since like the the 80s or something.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier.
He opens. First of all, it's a pretty crowded theater, and I can't emphasize this enough. No one in the crowd seemed to be enjoying the show, except for me and my wife.
Were you guys of the sober variety?
Ooh, well, I found these little tablet weed things that I really like.
Uh-oh.
And I said, I'll take one of these things. We were on cloud nine. Everyone was dead silent, like they'd never seen a show in their life before. He does 15 shows a week, 3 on Saturdays alone. We saw the early one on Friday.
Dude, imagine doing 3 shows.
Yeah.
Imagine being as rich as he is, and he's still like, fuck
still
it.
doing that.
I'm going to do these
Exactly.
same fucking tricks every fucking day.
So I'm going to try to explain some of the show here because I think, first of all, you guys would have really gotten a kick out of it. One, because he's done this show so many times. He mumbled like
no.
an unbelievable amount that we couldn't understand whole stretches of sentences.
Isn't he like in his 60s too?
He's 67. I thought maybe it was like a health thing or like maybe something, but he literally seemed to be so abundantly checked out of the entire performance, but doing the most incredible shows or tricks that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And on top, like he'd be like, so and my dad, when I never got to say that I love my dad.
No way. No way.
Yeah. And
what was it? The audio? Well, could it be the sound system?
no, because some of it would come right back in. And maybe it was where we were sitting. We did consider it, but it would be like the theme of the show is that his dad died and he never got to say that he loved his dad. But the information that came out,
the show,
it gets crazier, dude.
Oh man. Wait,
Listen.
hold on. Can I guess really quickly? Just a
Please.
super fast guess.
Please.
He gets like an I love you note from his dad that's like magic, and it's like the big showstopper.
That's correct.
All right. How do we get there though? Tell us
Not
all
quite.
about it.
It's a note, and it does end up saying something like "I love you" or whatever. But then he's like, well, first of all, the show opens with an empty box, and then curtains go down on the box. It comes up, and he's on a motorcycle, and he drives off the stage in a motorcycle. Okay?
Which is
and
already pretty great.
I was like, that's fine. This guy pops up. He's like, it's my wife's dream for me to assist you in a trick. So he's like, I'll come over. Let me help you assist me in a trick or whatever. That trick sucks. I see how it works immediately. I'm like, this is going to be a bad show. And then he gets all these people to come up on stage, and he's like, this is the classic car my dad used to drive around in.
Yeah.
He loved this car. It was a 1962 something Studebaker, beautiful car. He gets these guys to come on stage. They hug these columns, and we're like, what is going on? And he puts these covers on, and he takes them off, and there's a full car on the stage. I about fell out of my chair. I was like, that is the most, I've never seen anything like that. And then he gets in the car. Guess what? Turns it on.
It's a real car.
It's a real car.
It's not like a toy they brought on stage or a prop or something. It's a real car.
And so the men are all holding the car up on columns.
With really
Big silver columns. He has hold.
These are part of his show. He didn't pull them from the audience.
Doesn't really make sense why they have to hold him there. But anyway, yeah. So there's all these like plans and stuff we figure out later. But then he goes, my dad also worked for Roswell.
Okay, so we get some alien stuff.
Steve, he apparently saw the first episode of Mandalorian and was like, I want that Baby Yoda thing.
No way. Is there a puppet?
Dude, Roswell, his dad worked at Roswell.
No.
And then there's all these sepia photos of his dad holding this Baby Yoda looking
No way.
alien.
Like, and
with
it's
light up
Photoshop, real
tentacles.
bad Photoshop?
Yeah, real bad. And guess who shows up? The alien.
No fucking way, dude.
In what way
is
does he
this
show up?
show? What is this fucking show?
Bear in mind, dead silence from every audience member except for me and Grace.
Were they clapping though when tricks would
Like the
pop
weakest.
off?
Like so.
Really?
And every other line is like songs in them, but another
Oh,
we're
man.
and
But 60 is 60. You say he's 67?
That's
Yeah.
not old enough.
And
I
a
was gonna
billionaire.
say, because like, is that really old? Is that old? Is
No, just
that
bored.
Not
that-
to be like
He was
that.
so checked out.
Yeah.
Like it was, but talking about the deepest, most emotionally driven stuff in the world to two people who were high and a bunch of other people who had no interest.
So
It's like
you
they'd
guys
never
were
seen the
engaged.
show.
You guys were the only people engaged in the show.
We were like looking around, like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys see that? That was a car.
a whole
Everyone-
car is in here now.
Did
Did you see how fast they shot that car from under the stage to where it is now? You guys didn't see that?
And so then the alien shows up. The alien talks with an adult Boston accent.
Dude.
No way. Is there footage of this or pictures or
Because at the beginning he has a brilliant way where he does a magic trick with your email, and then he has you put your phone in the box in front of you. So I was like, good, because I would have been filming. And they have a laser guy in the back who laser points anybody who grabs their cell phones. So
Whoa.
I highly recommend you go see it. But dude, it gets crazier. Then his dad's like, man, well, or he's like, I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad, but maybe I can get you back home to your family. And I was like,
It's an alien
I
story
turned to
now.
Grace and I was like, we're going to see it. We're going to see a UFO.
I think I see a picture of this alien.
Yeah.
I
bring it up.
cannot believe what I'm looking at.
Wait,
Yeah,
so how did he
but-
bring the alien out onto, like, was there an introduction that was cool, or how did he
Yeah.
come out?
Yeah, he had like a whole lab. He had like a thing.
Wait,
it
and he-
became it like floated down or something from this like
And how
ceiling.
big is this alien? Like, is it Yoda
Oh, exactly,
size?
baby Yoda size. Exactly. Like,
Okay.
he swaddled at one point and held it under and talked about
Okay.
death.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Is that the guy?
That's the one.
No way.
Is that
And
the
it
man?
fully-
Is-
It looks like a Pixar version of
Officer?
Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
that's the one, officer.
And he talks like,
Look at this.
You know who I just from looking at, and by the way, I love the merchandise tie-ins. Did he have a gift shop where you could buy this?
wow, look at that, a little statue of the alien there too. That's cute.
Yeah.
So
know that was
Rob Paulson is the voice of that guy. Do you know who
I was
that
wondering, it
is?
sounded like Bill Burr.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Well,
like, this guy sounds familiar.
Well, Rob Paulson, I'm pretty sure is one of the Animaniacs, right?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
pup?
he
Yeah,
is.
he is. He's this guy.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Um,
He's the guy that
is
does
he-
Yakko. Or
I was gonna
Wacko-
say, is he the
Yakko.
main
Yeah.
guy?
He's Yakko. Is that the
Oh,
actual
look at that
puppet?
alien.
yeah, I think so.
That's the actual puppet. It's pretty Baby Yoda sized.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
And it's
Wow.
blue.
Well,
Blue with big ears and big ass antenna.
at the beginning too. So then he's like, all right, well, we need to. My dad and I used to give each other this symbol that meant love. This is our secret symbol. And
No
if we
way.
all,
This
if we
is
all,
not.
if we all
Sorry.
point love. And by the way, I could not figure out how to do this. If that gives you any inkling, I was like looking at everyone trying to figure out, but I was like, I think I got it. And then it doesn't work at first because people are like, they don't believe it. He was like, they don't believe it. They don't believe it. And so eventually, we put it down by our hearts, and the lights go down. I swear to God, the lights come up, and a flying UFO appears. It takes up the entire above the audience. It floats over everyone. There's no
Whoa,
strings.
it's above the audience.
Yeah, it floats like, and it's
Yeah.
giant, and it I mean, I
It
don't
was
have
cool.
to tell you if you freaked me out. It was
Yeah,
like
because you're like,
it
this-
was so cool.
and
it
you're
was the
probably
most-
thinking, if the show is this cheesy, this thing could fall on me and kill me and my wife here in Las Vegas.
That's true.
Did you ever think you were in trouble at any point?
I should have thought
At
that.
any point? You were too mystified. No, that means the show did a good job or being
Right.
being mystified. And that thing, you couldn't see it when you came in, like it wasn't on
No.
the ceiling, like not
No, I
lit
looked
up.
everywhere. I have
Wow,
no idea.
That's
how they did it.
cool, man. That's cool.
I think it was a drone, but like they made it look so good and so silent. But
That's
then
cool.
at the beginning, he was also, because if that wasn't enough, he was like, also, when I was a boy with my dad, I had this toy dinosaur. He had a gold tooth on it, and I always missed that dinosaur. Maybe one day I'll see it. And I was like, we're going to see a dinosaur. And so then at the end of the show, the UFO goes backstage, keeps hovering. The curtains come. And it cuts to a video of the UFO flying over the Las Vegas Strip.
Whoa, like it's leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah. And then he like the alien floats up or whatever. And then at the end, at the very end, he's like, here's the box again. And I was like, this is going to be crazy. He shows or all around it, goes under it, you know, classic magic thing.
No strings.
No strings. Brings it back up. Full dinosaur in the thing, screaming at everyone with giant skeletal teeth with a gold tooth sticking out.
Whoa.
How'd he do it? I don't know. Magic. Dead silence from the crowd.
And does he stand
there
like
at
for
the end?
the applause?
Dude, he goes like this, like standing ovation.
Because like,
And so everyone's like, okay, I will stand.
because like I grew up with David Copperfield being like awesome. Like I think some of the youth of today remember like Chris Angel as being like that was their magician. David Blaine. Oh man, David Blaine was great because he was like the jackass of magicians because he would do gross shit like let me swallow your shoelace and pull it out of my belly button. Or remember that thing where he would like pull a mole? He would like
out of his skin,
eat a piece of string, and then he'd like rip off a mole, and then it would be like the string.
Nice.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, you gross bastard? No one wants this gross shit. But I watched David Copperfield a lot. And Elliot, you and we have something in common here, friend.
Have you seen him?
I saw David Copperfield when I was a young man.
Dude, that's why we went, because Grace saw him when she was a kid and she was like, had a massive crush on him.
Yeah. Well, because he's got charisma. He's handsome. He's good with his hands. He's got a lot of money.
Do you remember the show at all, Steve?
I remember it being incredible. I remember the audience really liking it. This was like late 90s, maybe mid to late 90s. Okay. And people were fucking loving it. People loved it. But I remember after every time he would do a trick, he would do like a thing for the audience to be like, now give me
Lift
applause,
his hands up.
you, and then wait there until everyone was done. Like after every trick.
Yeah.
He didn't do that this time, or he did?
He did a little bit of that. I mean, the waving to do the standing ovation was pretty incredible.
People don't cheer.
They didn't cheer. And he moved past, I think what Grace came to the conclusion of, her theory was that he realized so quickly that it was a horrible audience that he just blew through it and was just like, and like
he's
the
a
laughs. He's total pro, and the laughs when they didn't land, he just barreled through and kept going. He also, I don't know if he was doing this when when you were a kid, Steve, but he seems to have a germa or a germa
interesting.
thing. So
he doesn't want to touch people.
Yeah, he would sanitize everyone, and we were like, maybe it's a germaphobe, maybe it's just really smart being a performer in Vegas doing 15 shows a week. Like, you don't want to get sick. So but he sprayed everything. Like he would spray everyone's hands, and I thought it was gonna be like a magic trick, and I was like, oh no, he's just like cleaning everybody.
No way.
The layers are so, every part of it was odd, but it was incredible.
Usually, if you're that like worried, you just cut out the element where maybe people touch you.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah,
but he wants that part in there, so something's bizarre, something's weird about that in my head a little bit.
It's a whole, why, if you have that much money, I mean, you must just love performing. I guess I get it, but
like 3 shows
it was
in one day, 15 shows, every day.
He's probably like, if I do this for another 5 years, I'll be the longest running magician in Vegas. And then that'll be like my whole legacy, is that I was the highest paid magician and the longest residency in Vegas. Yeah,
he wants to go down in like the history books. After, at the beginning, he was like, this year, keep an eye out. I want you to look up at the sky. And if you see anything, tweet at me. My handle is @Copperfield on Twitter, now X. And you might find that later this year, I make the moon disappear. And
Is he doing-
the reason I'm making the moon disappear is because I want to show people that anything is possible if you dream big enough. And I was like, yeah, but you're not going to make the moon disappear.
No, you're not, sir. You're not gonna make the moon disappear.
That was when I was my skeptical young self. At the end of the show, I was like, this dude's going to make the moon disappear.
Well, do you remember when we were like, there was a time when magic like got kind of popular again, and we were seeing like events. There would be like events like David Blaine would be like, I'm gonna sleep in a coffin for 3 years and no one's and I'm gonna have no food in there. It's
we made like
holy shit.
Didn't Copperfield make the Statue of Liberty disappear at one point?
No
like
way.
and there were all these gimmicks like I'm gonna make a boat disappear.
Even as a kid, I was like, I don't like this big stuff.
That's the thing. It was exactly. It's like but they all felt like they needed to prove themselves by going bigger and more grand. But like David Blaine would do shit like I'm gonna be frozen in ice for a week or something, and then they'll thaw me back and I could die. And it's
what
like
did he do recently with the balloons? Wasn't there something he did crazy with balloons? Oh
yeah, there was a thing with balloons.
Let me look.
Let's find out. Yeah, you look. Look.
He at one point was like, so we're going back to the moon. We're about the first time about moon 50 years. And at that point, I was dying laughing because I was like, what is he talking about? Because he was like, on this moon mission, nickel disc is impenetrable. You can't get rid of all the secrets of my magic will be on the moon. And
like he's
Grace,
just broken.
and I was like,
he's
what
broken.
It's like something about his tricks, his secrets are going to be on the moon. So I guess he's putting all of his secrets on a little disc, and they're going to take that to the moon, so that if after he dies, if you want to know the secrets to his tricks,
you have to go to the moon and get
go
it.
get it from the moon.
Wow.
I guess
That's
David
just
Blaine.
billionaire.
I know, it's like once you have billions of dollars, like you can do shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my hard drive on the moon. If you ever want to see what's on there.
Thumb drive.
We went out to we stepped in a restaurant afterward because we were like, we gotta just like decompress after what we just saw, and we just both start like the waiter's coming up, and we're both just talking about David Copperfield over and over again. And Grace was like, I'm gonna Google what his dad did. His dad worked at Roswell, and I was like, baby, I don't think
there's no way his dad worked at
That's
Roswell.
true.
I was like, baby, you don't need to Google that. I was like, I don't think. And she's like, well, he said. I was like, I don't think the billionaire magician's dad really worked at Roswell. I was like, and she was like, well, now I don't trust him. He's a liar.
Yeah, that's what magic is. Magic is lies.
It's all lies.
Magic is lying
And
in front of your face.
to think that like the whole conceit is his not being able to tell his dad that he loves him.
Yeah.
And so then it's like his dad is passed away, but he then has a fake video that he makes with the actor he casts as his dad, where he time travels back in time, and then the video,
That's
the video
not magic.
cuts. It cuts to him. Well, it cuts to him as a younger version of himself because the video's so old at this point.
Yeah.
So like he travels back in
It's like
time.
when the show started, they shot this for the show 10 years ago.
Yeah. And you're like, oh.
And it's supposed
And
to be
then
him
it stops and he
now.
appears at the back of the.
Dude.
Wait, did he do that thing where he's on stage and then like in a blink he's like over there, he's like in the audience?
Yeah, it wasn't quite a blink, but it was pretty fast.
Okay, so my brother and I, this memory is distorted now because I feel like I've told this on like Table Talk 100 times probably, or some other show, and it's now the funnier version of it rather than what actually happened.
That's okay.
But in my memory, my brother and I were close enough to the stage when we saw David Copperfield that when he did that trick where he's like on stage and then the stage goes black and then the spotlight shows over there and then there he is like way in the back of the audience and you're like, whoa, we were like freaking out. We loved it. But then all of a sudden we could hear running on the stage and we look and whoever
Dude, hearing his footsteps,
hearing him running, but it was like after he. So I was
Scurrying.
like, I was like, wait a minute, is that not
That
him?
not
then?
him. Yeah.
Or is it someone that looks like him? Or is that not? Or is
That
this
not
one
him.
not him? And I'm thinking, because I know magicians use doubles.
Right.
You know, they use doubles a lot, and a lot of magicians have twins and get into magic
The
because they have a twin,
Yeah.
so that they can use the twin in the show to, like, you know, stupefy. Oh. But
Great use of stupefy.
thank you. But I'll tell you that this made me believe
Yeah.
that maybe we had either a David Copperfield has a twin,
Yeah.
and it's like the best kept secret, and that's how he does all of his shit, or he had a double over there, and he's so far away from you that you can't, and it's like his voice still coming over the intercom.
Yeah.
But someone was running from the stage, and it seconds ago it was David Copperfield.
The first, I mean, we were pretty far back. We got tickets late, so we were close to him when he reappeared. It looked like him, but there at the beginning when there was the dude who was like, "Please it's my dream to assist you in a trick."
Oh yeah.
He got this guy to come over, and like he stands on a platform. It's in the middle of the crowd, and it like has this, whatever, and he like covers him with a sheet. And then he like does this thing where it was really easy to see the guy after he was covered with the sheet duck out and run to the stage. I was like, there he goes.
Oh man! So he was planted,
and then he appears. The assistant appears on stage. Yeah, there were a few plants, and I was like, okay, that kind of sucked, like because you could see him running. I was like, there's no way this is going to be a good show. And then the car appeared, and I was done for.
Because I mean, like the thing with magic is like, you know, when we would watch it on TV, we were seeing like purposeful angles. They were showing us exactly what they wanted us to see. But when you see magic in person, you can see it from every angle you want to. And that's when it's like, okay, well, obviously this, like, come on, let's grow up, boys. Magic ain't real. It's lies, it's sleight of hand, it's
I don't know.
whatever, dexterity, stamina.
You weren't there.
It's all these things.
I saw a UFO.
And so you're like, I saw an alien. I was in the presence of an alien, and that's like my life is different.
Yeah.
They want you to believe everything that happened in there is real, and it's like, all right. But the truth is that it isn't, and then it becomes like, well, then how did they do it? And then the fact that you can't figure it out is the real magic, right? Like the real magic is that someone pulled that off and fooled you to the point where you can't even conceive of how they did it. Right. But when you see how they do it once, because you've been to the Magic Castle, right? You guys ever been to the Magic Castle?
I've never been. I need to go. It's like,
man,
it's my last LA thing that I've never done.
Dude, I mean, it's been a really long time for me, and I've only ever been the one time, but you can see they do close-up magic. They do the stuff that David Copperfield does, the illusions and things like that. But the close-up magic is the stuff where it's like, okay, well, if I could look at this from every angle, maybe I could figure it out. But because we are in this seating area and the magician is showing you what he wants you to see, that's how you're like stupefied by it. There's that word again.
Yeah. Like the ones that don't impress me are the number tricks, like when they're like
I'm thinking of a number. I know, I hate it.
Or like write down. Yeah, I'm gonna write down. Look, I promise there's all the numbers on it. I'm like, I've never. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
The big things appearing and disappearing, or like things happening super fast. Are the best ones.
Yeah.
Same with like quick change artists. I still love watching that shit when they're really good.
How does that work? How do they do that? Layers?
It's all, I guess.
I mean, these things are constructed.
Crazy,
these are constructed. These are like it's like practical constructed, like movie magic almost. Like, you know how they make things happen in movies? Like the helmet goes over Tony Stark's face. It's all CGI, but they have a thing now where you could like put it on and it looks like it like actually does all the things that Tony Stark's helmet does.
know that.
But on the set, they had like a practical one with all these people doing like wires and shit to make it like kind of look like it's actually happening practically. And so these magicians have teams that build them like movie quality, like props that you know, and including the costumes and stuff. So what I'm assuming is that these costumes are built to collapse like very quickly or something. They're built with wires that can be snapped, and then all of a sudden it falls off or
but
something.
This is
like...
but it's very similar to a Pete Holmes bit where he talks about the guy trying to figure out magic in a magic show, so he just says magnets. Magnets.
Oh, it's all magnets.
It's like Pete Holmes is like, you're just saying two things you don't understand.
It's magnets.
Well, it's got wires to collapse.
But you know, there has to be a practical reason. There has to be.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a practical reason. There's a practical answer.
And it will disappoint you.
And it will disappoint you.
Yeah,
But it's but sometimes it's cool. And you're like, whoa, that's how they did it? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's 8 a.m.
We're talking about David Copperfield. I have some questions about David Copperfield. Because the thing is like, if you're 67 years old and you're doing your show, you're doing the second show of 3 on your weekend day. You did your first one, you're doing your second one, you got one more to go. And you're doing your second show, and the audience is like, the audience sucks. You're just like, fuck, no one's laughing, no one's clapping. Do you just like, if you're 67 and you've been doing this show for 15 years, same fucking show, does it just like not even compute in his brain that it's sucking? Because he's like, I already got your money, I've already got your attention.
Yeah,
Grace
it's just
said
work.
that-
It's just routine.
Grace said the real trick was that David Copperfield wasn't there the whole time. Like, he is so
He
vacant.
actually
Like,
wasn't.
he's yeah. The real trick was he made himself disappear
At
because
the end of the
He's just chilling at home.
he's gone.
He's
Now you
just-
see me. Now you don't.
she was like, when I was a kid, I had she was like, when I was a kid, I had such a crush on him. But when he came out, I was like, oh, he doesn't care about me or this show or anyone in here right now.
He doesn't care that you had a crush on him.
No.
Yeah. So what is that? I wonder what that's like. Because I think about like, man, I'd love to do a musical or something. And, you know, they do like sometimes 2 or 3 shows a night, like 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever. And it's like, man, I mean, I just don't know if I could do the exact same show for 10 years.
Well, I was telling some folks about this recently that I got real into Carrot Top on Instagram for some reason. And I don't know if I mentioned, but like I've started following him, and I'm fascinated by him and his life because it's similar to David Copperfield, where he does the same show every night, but he's been doing it for like going on 20 years just at the same venue. I think longer in terms of residencies, and you get paid like he's got like $8 million a year or something.
Damn. So they just throw money at you if you have a residency there.
Yeah, and he goes, he performs, and then he's home 3 hours later.
Yeah,
I'm like, that seems wonderful.
So it's like clocking in at the office, doing your job, and then going home.
2 hours, and then you're done.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they gotta like David Copperfield probably has updated obviously his act. He probably updates it like a year and a half, 2 years or something.
Maybe every
So
couple of years.
That would
there's
help
a new...
with the boredom of it.
And it's really one of those things where it's like you really have to just tell yourself like there's people who you know came to this show to see it. They never seen it. They don't even know what I'm about. And you want to give them a good show, you know.
I think too, you forget like in Vegas that not everyone is. Most people are not flying in from LA,
right?
Where entertainment is like appreciated and embraced and supported. And they're flying in from all over the country, and they've probably never seen, oftentimes, a live show in their entire life. And they're just like,
they've never seen a real alien.
they'd never seen a real alien or a real UFO. The car was real, but man, the lack of fun was crazy.
You
It
kind of
just
get
so silent.
Doesn't it kind of make sense now when you think about those like old performers that kind of lose it on someone in the audience? Because you're like, motherfucker, I've done this show for 25 years. You're going to come in here and get all rowdy and shit? Like, I can't wait till David Copperfield loses his shit at someone.
At one point, he was, they have like the cameras that follow everyone around, and then it shows like it's the TV special, the screen behind him and whatever.
Yeah.
So the camera is on this woman, and he's doing like an interview thing, and then this guy comes behind her, and he's got like a yard drink. And those like real tall things, and he's like he starts like getting in front of the camera, and he's like, "Oh, you got an asshole behind you. Hang on." And he like leaves or whatever, and he walks past me, and I'm like, "That guy just stormed out. It's weird." And then later, David Copperfield is like, "And now unroll that poster." And it's a poster of Elvis Presley, but Elvis Presley is made up of words that describe exactly what just happened and how there was an asshole behind her and how she brought up this and her. And I was like, okay. And I was like, he did it again. He did magic again.
Was it so the most impressive? So say one really nice thing about the show.
It's incredible. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. If you want a weird time, every moment was entertaining.
Yeah, but you that's you. Like you were entertained because of reasons that were not meant to be the reason why it shows.
The dead dad thing was a curveball.
Well, the dead dad thing is crazy. Like that's what the show's about.
Yeah, that's the whole conceit. That's the theme behind the show. And then he elegantly works in UFOs, like a secret laboratory, his dad working at Roswell, the dinosaur at the very end, motorcycle at the beginning, car at the beginning. I was like, dang, that's like almost every vehicle. Like he's gotten pretty much UFOs, need a plane maybe. But I loved it. Dude. It was so good.
I guess I can't really fathom there's got to be a number, right, where he's like, okay, I'm done. Like whether it's an age or it's an amount of money in his bank account or whatever. Like, what are you doing when you're like 67 and you're like, I really don't need to do this?
That was again. That's got to be. That will haunt me. Like
it haunts me
because I couldn't. I'm sure I assume it has to be a deep love of performing that is actually as simple as it seems, because every other possibility just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's too bonkers. Yeah,
because he's like also assuming that the germaphobe thing is real. It's like you don't
have to do this.
Yeah. Like go be comfortable in your own whatever makes you happy. But maybe that's what makes him happy.
That's what makes him happy.
Spraying people with his disinfectant and listening to like very like like anemic clapping from the audience while he's like giving it his all of the. I mean, whatever, man. I honestly like I there's some like maybe it's echoes of a different timeline that sometimes enter my subconscious, my consciousness, from my subconscious into my consciousness. But like I think about how fun it would be to have like a Vegas residency show where it's not just you, because you're like, if it's just you, then you're like, get ready to like lose your life to this, get ready to make this your life. But if it was like a team of people and it was like a fun thing and everyone had something fun to do and it, there was room for improv and you didn't have to like stick to like a script every single night. Like that's kind of like a low key dream.
It's the dream,
right?
Because it's Vegas, it's gross, it's fun, it's wonderful, and then they obviously have so much money to give to these people to do residencies. So you're like, dude, you could just make some fucking great money, probably take care of your family, take care of yourself and your family. Maybe another generation or two doing a show like that.
Yeah, that's what my favorite comedian, Carrot Top, talks about. He says, He's like, people call it selling out. He's like, when you get into entertainment, he's like, that's the goal. The goal is to sell out. The goal is to make it so you can perform and make money. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like how late night hosts, like they go in every day, they do the same shtick every day, and they get paid buku's amount of money, and then eventually they lose their mind in some way.
But it also has to be like a good enough show that like at least the word of mouth gets people to like want to see it, you know? Because like if you're doing like low effort, low if you're not doing big stuff that makes you think about it like days later, then you're just like kind of like any old person with a show in Vegas.
Yep.
Wow, you seen that video, Carrot Top with his dick coming out of his pants? He's like in a kayak and he's like filming a video and his penis is like hanging out of his shorts. I don't think he realizes it's he like posted.
Is this a recent video?
Hey, let me see.
He didn't realize it.
Here we go. This is on Reddit. Carrot Top posted. Hang on.
I love him, dude. I am.
Let's share this with the friends here. Carrot Top posted this video to his Instagram with his whole ass dick hanging out.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yes, I am over it. Wait, is this the one? That's not the one.
No, it looks fine.
There's one where it's like his full ass dick hanging out. Is that it?
You sure it doesn't come up later? It's 30 seconds long.
Oh, it stopped. It just stopped.
Yeah, I think it stopped.
Oh yeah, here it goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's working its way out.
Not bad for an old.
Oh.
There it is. There it was.
Oh my god. He's eating a flower.
Oh my god.
He'll go home after a show and he'll drink wine out of like a small glass that's not a wine glass and sing Alan Jackson just by himself to his camera. Again, highly recommended.
Do you think he's happy? Guys, thanks for listening to the show today. Anything else we want to say? I mean, we're getting close to the hour.
We
right?
got it, dude.
Fine. Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to? I saw Dune 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so y'all can't talk about it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, what I said in the chat. Okay, though, basically all I said was that it was too long. It's long.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
But
it was that long.
you didn't think it was bad. You just.
I thought it was better than the first.
Better than
one.
the first.
Yeah,
so much better. Than
In
the first.
fact, I've been hearing, and Joe said it too. And Joe wasn't the first one to say that, or maybe I said it. Maybe Joe said it.
That you don't need to watch the first.
Yeah, and I
agree with you.
My girlfriend loves it. Loves the first one. Loved the second one. She's like,
Don't
I
say your
loved
name.
the first one.
big Dune fan. And I was like, do you think people even need to see the first one? And she thought for a second. She's like, fuck, no, I guess not. You could just literally see the second one.
Yeah.
Completely skip the first one.
Damn.
And I was thinking, that's so interesting because I think is there any other movie that does that where the sequel is like
You really don't need to
there's
see anything.
no need to see the first one at all. Like I couldn't think of another one. Like Back to the Future 2 kind of gives you a little bit
that
of a
would
run
ruin it.
through,
that's
but then
one of the most because you
I know.
they go
Yeah.
back to the first movie.
I was thinking like Toy Story 2. Could that work?
Maybe that's what I was thinking. Toy
Okay,
Story 2, maybe.
okay, yeah.
Also, speaking of sequels, I watched Aliens for the first time.
What?
Oh, I have
When?
never seen Aliens. I heard
What?
I've only seen Alien, and I heard Aliens is so much better.
So much better, and I was so excited. I did not like Aliens at all.
You mean
When
Alien?
did you what did you watch, the theatrical or the director's cut?
The theatrical, I'm sure.
Okay, you didn't like it at all?
You didn't like
like-
Aliens?
Not
sequel?
really. I like Sigourney Weaver.
That's
But, like,
crazy. That's crazy.
When was the last time you watched it?
in fact, my girlfriend had never seen it, and we watched all of the Alien movies like last month.
Dude, I was just bored.
Bored?
The only
Are you sure you're not
cool
talking about
part,
Alien?
Yes, James Cameron.
That's crazy.
I know. I was
That's
surprised
crazy.
too.
I've never heard anyone say they were bored.
The-
of Alien.
Are you
the-
saturated with Alien as a result of it being so in the cultural imagination that it's no longer as enticing? Have you been?
I really didn't like the aliens. I didn't like the look of them. They looked really like a puppet to me.
Okay.
The
They're-
acting, the lines,
So you don't
were
like
pretty
Geiger?
shitty to me.
Giger? You don't like?
Yeah, you don't like
I didn't
the
like
Giger?
how-
You don't like Giger's alien designs. Remember when Elliot said
I
we
like
should
the
throw out some
design.
hot takes on this show?
Yeah,
I
we were
like
being
the
ironic.
design of the aliens. I didn't like the way they just looked fake, dude. And like they never showed it moving in a realistic way to me. I don't know, man. I did not like it. The only cool
Interesting.
part to me was when she like the
Face close.
giant one shows up
The
when
Queen,
she's like
yeah.
trying to save the kid. Yeah, the
Uh-huh.
queen. That part was cool. But that was the only part that I was like, that was cool.
I mean, you couldn't like put on your like this came out in 1987
I did.
or whatever year it
I
came
did.
out.
So that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up and be like, have you watched it recently?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look, we have endless CGI fuck your face fest movies that have come out for like a very long time since that movie came out.
Right.
And when that movie came out, it was like, oh, we've never
Insane.
seen this. We never had like Marines fighting aliens, like with a big like visual effects filmmaker
Yeah.
director behind it, So it was like a huge, big feat of technical,
And I can picture that, but I just like
You
even
really
the
have to like
story-
live in that. You have to like live in when it came out and what people were watching
But,
and
like, what-
enjoying at the time.
I don't want to bring up spoilers because of Elliot, but like I'm still like, what even was the point of the story?
Is this the alien that you're talking about?
Like I don't
Did you
know
see
what
the
little-
first Alien?
Yeah. Like the first one, I think I liked better, dude.
Wow.
The first one is they're two different.
It's a
they're
horror
They're
movie.
pretty
The
different.
first one's a horror
movies.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty different movies. But I think I go back and forth because I think Alien is like a perfect suspenseful horror movie.
I thought Alien was excellent. I'm excited to see Aliens. But I
It's
can
different, dude.
I am curious if I'll watch it and be like, this is stupid, lame.
It, like everyone knows James Cameron's famous pitch for when he went in to pitch Aliens. You remember, right, Elliot?
You just draw an S on it.
Money sign.
I think about it all the time. I thought about it again when I went to see Dune because there was a trailer for Twisters.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Like,
Dude.
what is this?
I
What
saw
the
that
fuck?
I saw a trailer during the Super Bowl and I Googled it because I was like, oh, is this
This
like
can't be
a
real.
I was sure it was a GoDaddy
Oh, I
ad
gotta
or
watch the
something.
trailer.
And then it wasn't. I was like, oh no, that's so bad.
It's crazy
Dude,
because I
it's
think at one
insane.
point I think there's a line in the movie or in the trailer where like the lead says to the female lead male says to the female lead, you guys were trying to kill. It's like you guys were trying to kill a tornado, and you failed. And then he's like, you want to try again? And so I'm like,
Yeah.
what? They're gonna kill?
Kill
They're
a
gonna
tornado.
kill it? Is it living?
Yeah, they're gonna kill it from the inside.
They're gonna kill it. Can you kill a tornado?
If you anthropomorphize it, you can kill it.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, we're gonna make. Okay, here's how. Can I predict? I'm gonna make a prediction.
That's gonna be right.
What happens in Twisters? Because apparently there's two tornadoes in
There's
this
two of
movie. There's two of them that are like working together.
What could possibly happen in such a?
This could be a very complex plot for all we know. But in my mind, what I think will happen is because there's a moment in the trailer where they have these like drone things, these like metal, like thousands of little drone things, and they're flying around, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna use the drone if they're trying to kill twisters, which is crazy. They're gonna use the drone things to go into the twister and then go the other way. Spin real fast the other way, and that will kill the tornado. It'll like dissolve it
I
awesome.
think the two of them will definitely combine at some point
and make one big super twister.
Super twister, yeah.
I was thinking a third bigger appears, and then that happens, and it becomes like
whoa.
it becomes an F.
How did they kill it?
7.
Well, and then the two little twisters have to fight the big one.
I was thinking that too.
And then it's
one of them
Kong
teams
versus
up,
Godzilla versus Twisters.
Yeah.
or the Twister
Raptors
teams that
versus
one of
T-Rex.
them teams up with the humans, and then
They work
fights the
together.
other one.
There's like a Chris Pratt doing the like raptor thing where, whoa, that made me disappear. The thing where he puts his arms out with the raptors, but he's doing it with tornadoes.
Yeah.
No, shh, come on. Come this way, Clementine. And then the other one's called Bill for Bill Paxton, right?
It's the AI voice of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh no. He's like, it's the ghosts of Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman in the two Twisters.
You can't kill him.
Anyway, Kevin, I am mystified that you
I am
think
too,
Aliens
dude.
is
I was-
boring.
But I was mystified by my own opinion about it because I've never heard any bad opinions about that movie.
Well, okay, I'm going to make two grand assumptions. Number one, you watched it with the wrong people.
I watched it by myself, dude.
You watched, then you should have watched it with
There you
other
go.
people. And number two, you were probably not in the best mood. It probably wasn't the best vibe for you to watch.
Steve's basically saying it's your fault.
It's your fault. That's what I'm saying. It's all on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
What's the earliest James Cameron movie you've seen? You've seen Terminator? The original Terminator?
I said Terminator 2.
You've seen Terminator 2?
Not
Okay.
the first one.
Okay, so
I like
maybe,
Terminator 2.
That's a one where you really, I wouldn't say really need to see the first one.
right. That's a good point,
Oh,
Elliot. That's a
'cause
really
I
good
was
point.
pretty
Because they do
fine with
set up
seeing
a
just
lot.
second.
Yeah, they do a lot of recaps in part 2.
Isn't Terminator 2 supposedly like better than the first as well?
For certain, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not even really a hot take. But the first one is pretty good for like an independent like horror.
I think
thing.
the first James Cameron I saw was Terminator 2. And then
Okay, so that
think
was
it
the
like-
earliest one you saw.
yeah, then either like Titanic or Avatar.
Because I don't really love True Lies. You ever seen True Lies?
I haven't seen True Lies. No.
I don't love it. A lot of people love that fucking movie. I don't love it because I think I do think James Cameron does things with his dialogue that's like kind of cheesy.
That's
but I
how
think
this
it's like,
one felt.
But all of the James Cameron movies are like that. If you watch the latest
Yeah.
Avatar movie, you're like,
It's
this
the same.
dialogue is cheesy as a motherfucker.
But
He's
dude,
just
even like
always
all-
written really cheesy dialogue. So you're like, okay, that's at least it's like if you're gonna see a James Cameron, you know you're gonna get like cheesy dialogue. So after that, it's like you're like, okay, so I'm gonna rely on the action and the visual effects and the story to get me through it. And for me, True Lies never delivers on the rest of
see.
it. It just has cheesy dialogue and it never has like a cool thing like in Aliens where there's aliens and creatures and space shit and sci-fi stuff. Okay, so if Terminator 2 is the earliest Cameron you've seen, then you probably then now Aliens is the earliest Cameron you've seen. And I think that if you went any earlier than that, you probably would feel the same way because Cameron was just kind of like getting started.
Yeah, watching all like the military fighting off the aliens felt so much like Avatar fighting off the Na'vi.
Yeah.
It just took me to that realm. It, like I said, it just was like nothing was super cool to me. It was just like, yeah, I've kind of seen all this shit before.
Yeah, I think you're just a kid that doesn't get it.
I could be.
I'm done.
I'm sorry, man.
No, that's okay. You don't have to like Aliens, but you need to accept that it's your fault.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, man.
If folks are traveling to Vegas anytime soon,
You gotta take me, Elliot.
highly recommend. I know, man. It's time. This might be a show that I see again, and I recommend it to everybody.
Let's all go see David
I was
Copperfield.
gonna say the Valleyfolk
Yeah.
goes
Let's go.
sees
Valleyfolk goes to Vegas.
and sees David Copperfield.
Yeah, great. Well, what if we did? Because I was like, at one point, I was like, if we hurry, we can make the next show. Like, just do it again. If you just went,
Two of them
what if
in a
we did
row?
all 3 shows in one
three.
day?
Dude, we could do all 3 shows and then compare notes on how different they all were. By the time we get to the 3rd show, we'll be like, this was a bad idea.
I'll be blasted. I'll be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the week.
right. Well,
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Great
everybody.
job.
thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you. And
Hope
wish
you
Joe
didn't-
a good time.
Enjoy your daylight savings shit that doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
And, we don't, what do we need this daylight savings shit for?
Hey,
I
you
don't
know
have
that
a farm.
one. You know that one constant throughout your life that never changes. We're gonna mess with it twice a year.
Right. Because
The one thing that you can rely on, the one thing that is always going, always the same.
Let's confuse people.
We're
every
gonna
once
chop
in
it
a
a little bit here and there. Yeah.
while. Because of crops?